Hello. Sorry. Hello, good morning. It is 15 minutes to 9 a.m. on Monday. It is April 30th, 2018. And we are making indie games. Alright, so when last I left off, I was working on the main menu view and the stuff for that. Overhauling that, if you recall. Hey, good morning. Wow, you guys got here fast. Hold on, let me just finish the intro real quick. I was streaming day before last, and if you recall, I was working on, I was experimenting with different things to do for the main menu. I was about to completely change the wind conditions from the music stand over to like a tuner, like a tuner for like a bass guitar or a upright bass. I moved away from that, and I started working on these ribbons, and this is basically the first pass of the ribbons for the drummer's path and the accordion's path. This is still very first pass, but basically the idea here is as you go through, you unlock different areas. This is actually not correct. As you unlock different areas, you kind of tighten up this ribbon that goes through the world. So here you can see it's tightened up in the areas that you've finished, and then the areas you haven't finished yet are still loose. And if you go in here, like let's say we beat this level, that kind of tightens up that ribbon, and as you go through the world, you're just tuning an upright bass. And if we go back out to the main menu, you can see the effect we've had on the world there. So yeah, it was a lot of just grunt work yesterday getting these ribbons that I have here set up. Here I'm unlocking all the levels so you can see what it's like, kind of get a feel for what it looks like when the ribbons are all tightened up. And what you saw before was kind of like what it looks like when everything's loose. I hate keeping track. What's up, man? Yeah, so this is actually inaccurate because you can see all these levels are done, but the ribbon's loose for some reason. Only for certain ones. That's interesting. Anyway, that's a bug I should probably fix. Today I'm going to work on the path for the trombone. And that's the intro. So now I can say hi to you guys. Good morning. Yeah, I'm glad you like them. I keep calling them ribbons. They're supposed to be bass guitar strings. I think, I don't know, I might have to... I'll think about it. I can change the look of them once they're in. I just need to get it done so I can get, like, the basic... I need to get the game back to a place where I can put it in someone's hands, and it's just not there right now. It's just a mess. Like, for instance, because I've been playing with this and I'm halfway in, like I'm in the middle of it, if you pop into one of these levels, there's just like a ribbon running through the level that you can kind of collide with, and it's also like they don't occlude. So if you're... This is a bad example. The occlusion in general is shit, but like I need to figure out how I'm going to get them to draw out of the world and just loads of stuff like that. But that's a lot of work, and it's early on a Monday, so I'm going to start out just, just fixing up this ribbon is a good warm-up task, I think. Yeah, last week I started out with musical staves. I think at the very end of the stream last week I was like, this isn't working because it just looked too busy. Like, I think, let me go back to where that was. That's way far back. Too far. Okay, before this. This is what we were doing last week, right? Just playing around with the idea that you were walking around on a, what do you call it? A musical bar kind of thing. But I don't know if I have an image in here. It just looked so busy. It just wasn't working. So I kind of moved to like At the end of last week, I started out with the idea that it's a ribbon, and I was like, okay, that looks cooler. And then throughout the week, I was trying to figure out where the levels would live on the ribbon and what the icons would be. This is the first pass where I had made everything a ribbon, and I put all the level icons where I want them to be. And then I just did a giant, like, gameplay, where do I want things to actually go sort of thing. Then I fixed it again to be that. And I was experimenting with how these different stages hook up with the paths, like your crit path. And then I started, like, I went down a totally different path for a while that I talked about yesterday. That was just shit. This is just shit. And now we're here. So I lost a couple days going down a path that didn't work, but now we're here. So let's get started on this one. The other thing is I don't know what these are going to start with. Like, I'm going to look at an upright base and figure it out. Though, whatever. We'll go over the problems later. There's many. But this is moving in a direction where it is better than it was, and that is what is important. Makes you think of a cassette tape. That's interesting. Huh. Definitely wasn't a motif I was going for. I don't know if it fits into the... Well, let me think about it. Cassettes and jazz just don't go together. I don't know. Like a record player would go with it. Cassettes and jazz. By the way, I'm sorry, there's construction on Mondays. Seemingly only on Mondays. Only when I stream. Because they're never here. Like, I work from home Wednesdays and Fridays, and there's no construction. I just like to make my streams as difficult as possible. Hey TR1, what's up, man? Are you new here? Oh shit. Hey Pete. Gotcha. An interesting way for this to wrap around the level that isn't super confusing. asking too much here. It's going good, man. I mean, it's 9 a.m. on a Monday, but I'm pretty happy. Things are going really well at work. I'm sorry I missed your birthday. I was just so tired on Wednesday. Like I spoke at a class at MIT. And then it just turned into a pumpkin. I don't know. I hit my max socialization for a given day. Between that and I got a lot done at work, so. Yeah, it was just, do you know Jack Ebensteiner? Ebensteiner? He shows up to Boston Indy sometimes. He teaches at MIT. It's the MIT Game Lab. It's like a small group of students, like 30 of them or so. He brings in guest lecturers sometimes. I just feel guilty when I say no to that, because it's like literally a mile walk for the good of like people. Gotta give back or whatever. It's important. And I definitely blew him off for a while, so felt like I should probably go. Hey Nordal, good morning. I don't know if that's a typo or if that's just your native, whatever, lexicon. Let's see here. Am I gonna get away with this? See, alright, if you're gonna do... I do want the ribbon to wrap around the levels, but it's also gotta... Yeah, no, I can't do that. That's not gonna happen. Okay. Too much overlap. I'm glad you like it, Pete. I'm gonna polish this up in a sec. I just want to see if this path is gonna work. Ugh. Sorry, Pete. Is there a lot of work locally? I think there's a lot of animation freelance in Boston. Every time I do a freelance project, it's pretty much for people in New York or California. I know why that's so surprising to me. Oh, Fable Vision. Yeah. Where the hell did you come from? Did I do that? Always there. Gotcha. So when you say you're doing pipeline shit, you mean like designing their pipeline, writing tools? What are you doing, man? I feel like that's the one thing I wouldn't outsource. But then again, that's what I do, so I guess that makes sense. So I want to loop it around this side, but then it'll look confusing in the menu screen. So it's kind of got to go around this side. Alright. Gotcha. I'm just not taking contracts anymore. Like, I am so busy. And I liked the contracts I was taking on last year, but they damn near killed me, and I don't feel like I did the best job I coulda. I mean, I tried to turn them down, I just... It's like you start out taking a contract and you think it's going to be a short-term thing, and then the project gets extended by 2 years. You're like, look, I can't help you anymore. Then you feel bad because you've already invested some time into helping them, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm a contractor. Leave me alone. I mean, I feel that way because I have a full-time job, so usually any contract gig I'm doing is like not my priority in a very big way. Is this supposed to... Did I just never build the skirt for that? Interesting. Okay. That's fine. Just didn't finish the art up here. This trombone, I like... A lot of this back here is still super loose and temp. I've just not given a shit about the trombone. But real shitty about it. Recommend a good auto rigging system. Honestly, I mean, you know, I have my own auto rigger, so I've never had to experiment with other people's auto riggers. It's kind of like the one advantage I have as an animator, so I use it a lot. The fact that I wrote that. I think Tim Borelli, I would ask him. I know he has an auto rigger he's found that he likes a lot. I don't think it's the setup machine. I don't know what it is. You'd have to ask him. Hell yeah. Custom rigging is fun. I mean, I would, if I didn't have an auto rigger like that I've had for years, I would have started with somebody else's at least, though. For bipeds, there's no reason to solve the same problems everybody else has solved. For just the most basic stuff. You know? Tim Borelli. He's in here sometimes. You can hit him up on Discord in the Anim State Discord. He's just Tim under like what do you call it? Under the bosses. He's one of the mods of the Anim State Discord. But yeah, he has a setup, like an auto rigger that he uses. He's been using for a bit now, and it looks like he's really happy with it. Yeah. Right. I mean, this is gonna be kind of easy because I already sort of know the path I want. The hard and also, see, like, making this was a huge pain because not only did I have to figure out like the levels have to progress in a certain way, blah blah blah, but like how the optional path, making it so the optional paths don't overlap and you don't have any visual confusion was very difficult here. Whereas The trombone just has the one path, pretty much. They've got this little offshoot here, which you can't see at all. Which I actually do need to tweak, huh? I'm letting this go too far off the page. Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, I'll go with that. Oh, that's gonna interfere with that level. That's fine though. Okay. No, it's not. What the hell are you thinking? Shit. Alessio, this is the Unreal Engine. Doing what always happens. You start out making some kind of system to do things, like in my case, put an icon for the level at the center of the level, and then inevitably you just scrap the system and throw in a shit ton of markup. Like, every game I've ever worked on just ends up being a shit ton of markup. Because it's just, I don't know. Works out that way, man. Don't know why we fight it. Well, I do. Later, Pete. Hey, Louise, what's up, man? I was so groggy when I started this morning. Were you streaming earlier? Damn, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm getting to, it's this time of year. Everyone I know is getting sick right now. I feel like more people get sick when the weather turns warm than when the weather turns cold. I don't know why. Changing of the seasons. This will be a bit weird, but maybe it'll work. That's also when you see a lot of old people die. Nordal, how are you doing today, man? Are you alright? How are things? You feeling okay, man? Nordal's sitting there. We're all just sacks of meat living on borrowed time. What difference does it make? Nordal's discovered nihilism. This will actually work, but it's worth a shot. Oh, okay. This is your vacation? Hanging out on Twitch? this idea. Don't have a better idea. Hey, hit Dark Devil. I'm Fort Bonky. What's up, man? I saw your game on Twitter again. People were talking about it at A-Maze. Oh, I never heard of A-Maze. Looks cool. Anyway, congratulations. Yeah, Recursed? The one where every room is a key, or every room is an item, and you jump into the... Here, fucking... I think people are subtweeting about it, maybe. Such a big deal, poor Ponky, you can't even keep up. Oh, you know this person? How do you people all know each other? I don't get it. When do I get to be cool? Oh, that's the Baba Is You guy? Shit. Oh, I should follow him. Where is that? Cool. I don't believe that you were at GDC. I feel like I met every conceivable person at GDC, and I did not meet you, poor Ponky. That's not true. I didn't meet any fucking indies. I am the worst at this. I don't know how to find you people. Oh my god. I feel like all I do is, every time there's a convention, I'm just sprinting around trying to get everything done and trying to... That's because I try to meet everybody I already know, and I can't do that even. I have no more... Alright, we figured it out. Mystery solved. I've hit max friend count. Can't make new friends anymore. I have too many. I have to wait for another slot to open up. We're gonna have to start taking out a couple of them. Highlander situation here. Shit, this looks like ass. Man. Oh, let's... I feel like this should not be this hard. You meet Zach. You need to delete some old friends. I did not meet Zach. I'm sure there's more than one Zach, but I did not meet the one any Zachs. Nordal, I don't know why you're here, man. I'm not cool at all. Thinks that I'm not cool or a big deal. This is a common thing. Zachtronic Zach? No, man. I just saw his talk last night, 'cause this is like really monotonous. I was listening to a bunch of talks, and he seems cool. I dig it. I didn't get to meet him. So for GDC this year, I had to like structure the week because I had so much shit going on, because I was giving talks on Tuesday and Monday. And so like on Tuesday and Monday I was just an animator, and I hung out with like the AAA animators and the animators from across the games industry that I know from back in the day and stuff, and did that. And then like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was a mix of catching up with old friends and like business. Mostly going to meetings because I was hustling to get funding for my next game. And I think I ran into who did I meet? I met a really cool dude. Jake. Fuck, what's Jake's last name? His real name's Jason Roberts. Made Gorgo. He was cool. We hung out all at PAX this year. He is a sweetheart. I believe it. Dude seems legit. That Q&A was pretty good. Dude has a lot of energy. Yeah, I like Jake. He's real. He's the kind of real that, like, he's in town for PAX East, so we got a bunch of the indies that were in town together to go bar hopping. And he was just kind of like, I have an hour to kill. Do you want to show up early? He's like, yeah. Grabbed dinner, hung out for, like, hours. He just mingled with everybody, and then at the end of the night, a bunch of people went to, like, a Greasy Spoon at 2 a.m. And Jake's like, yeah, I'm in for that. Went and got flapjacks at 2 a.m. here in Boston. Just super chill. Everyone in this industry is great. Like, we have a great industry. Got a good mix. GC's like Pokemon for indie devs. Yeah, I feel PAX and PAX East are, I only run into indie devs. Because, like, no one from AAA is going to PAX or PAX East anymore. And the people that are going are, like, the marketing people. They're not, like, the developers. But for PAX and PAX East, you get to meet all the developers. So that's kind of cool. That's when I meet the indies. But I mean, you gotta get a bit of everything, you know? Gotta get a sampler platter. I'm starting to dread GDC. I don't know if I can top last year. Dude, I agreed to give a talk at this conference out in Norway in November. And it's gonna be the first time I do a talk that's not focused on animation. I have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna talk about. Like, it's also gonna be an hour, which I've never done. I'm thinking about just writing 4 talks that are 15 minutes and cycling through them for different topics. Norway, I think it's Norway. Give me a second. It's a weird one. It's not like a big one. I actually like it a lot. There. They generally have something like 12 speakers. Not that many speakers, but an array of ideas. And they do a giant panel at the end. I don't know, I just like it. My friends did it, like Jane Eng did it one year, my buddy Ryan Duffin did it one year. The talks that come out of there are really interesting because they get people with very different perspectives in the industry, usually in very different roles as well, talking. Like, if you look up the panel they did for last year, I thought it was really, really interesting. I saw that panel and I was immediately like, I wish I was on that. And I know some of the people involved in running it, so I was like, hi. I don't really know them. My friend knows them, so I stuck in. I'm sneaking in. I do have to pitch, like, a main talk, though. That's an hour long. That's not about being an animator, so that'll be weird. Hey Alf, what's up, man? I like that emoji. I'm gonna lose all my money. No, I've never been to Norway. But the whole point is, like, the reason why I'm doing it is because it's in November, so it's a good time. And it's, they're paying for flights and hotel and stuff. Otherwise, I could never do it. It's a short one, too. So it should... The whole point of it is that I don't think it'll be super expensive. I think they're taking us out to dinner one or two of the nights, too. So, I don't know. Just tank up at dinner. Starve the rest of the day. Practice intermittent fasting. I'll find a way, man. It's the 8th richest country in the world. I didn't know that. Dude, I don't know shit about Norway. Like, I'm pretty sure I could circle it on a map, but I'm, like, not 100% confident. According to BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed is a rag. BuzzFeed is, like... Mm-mm. Not a fan. That is the very definition of do whatever it takes to get clicks. BuzzFeed was number 3 on a journalistic integrity top 10 on BuzzFeed. That seems logical. I bet they fucking were. Damn it, where are you? Alright, that's not terrible. I can start polishing that up. So where was I before I got down that rabbit hole? I obviously need to change the colors of these. Aiming it so these two don't crash into each other because it's confusing. It's confusing. I don't really have a plan to solve it. That was a mistake. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. If, if it all pans out and I actually get to go and stuff. Though I do need your help. You need to tell me what to talk about. What do people care about? This is particularly difficult because, I can kind of guess what American developers want to talk about. But a lot of the solutions that work in the American market, like workforce market, aren't a good idea overseas. I would highly recommend you just get a job and work in AAA for a while. And when you're first starting out of college and, get your legs underneath you that way, cut your teeth on someone else's game. But if you're in an emerging market, that's not it was brought to my attention that that's just not something you can do, right? In most of the world, there are no AAA companies or place to cut your teeth. What do you do when there is absolutely no game development in your country? Norway's not that bad off, but it's definitely not the same as America. And I honestly don't know much about Norway. Outside of Aslik, I don't know any other Norwegian developers. And that's difficult too, right? Because they want to bring in speakers who will give them advice, but all the advice we give is it's advice for people like us, right? It's not like they could get their own speakers. If they could, they wouldn't be having this, it's just a fucking catch-22. I don't know what to do. Especially because I feel like there are so many different ways to succeed as an indie developer. And success means so many different things to different people, and there's different ways to make money. When I started out, the companies I worked at, their goal wasn't... theoretically we were making games, but in reality, at Gazillion, the goal was more to... the money came from your investors, and your goal was to impress the investors more than it was to make a good game or sell to a market. You didn't really talk about the market. You were mostly talking about what investors wanted to see, how to, make the spreadsheets look good and shit. It was very Silicon Valley, not in the TV show, in the actual Silicon Valley, where everyone's really obsessed with, venture capital and shit. I think the main problem in Norway is lack of problems. Their social system is really cool, extremely low crime, and high social mobility. Cool. I still know nothing about Norway. Maybe I'll just go there and never come back. I want to be part of a social system. I could be social. I don't like crime. You can't be a struggling artist if there's no struggle. Yeah, that goes back to a theoretical topic that I think is absolutely true, that nothing motivates better than fear. Nothing. It's probably not good life advice though. It's just kind of an uncomfortable reality. So am I understanding this correctly? That's why I pay someone to hold a gun to my head while I work on games. Fear of death wasn't really where I was going with that, but you know, hey. That's what it is, man. Now we all know about your creative process. How important is lighting in a 3D game? I'm thinking of removing all lighting from my game. Dude, that's such a weird question. Sorry, and that's another question. I mean, it totally depends on your art style. I'd have to show me a screenshot of your game and I'll tell you how important it is. I mean, it's important to have some kind of shadow or something to ground things in the world, I think, for most art styles. The shadow matters more than the lighting a lot of the times. I may have missed this, but what is the significance of the name Kind? I don't have a great answer for you. It's short for kinematic. My current art style is lighting is broken. Wow. Then I feel like removing lighting from your game would really hinder your art style. I feel like without lighting it would just be is broken. Which, I mean, I think most indie games are there, but I don't think that's aspirational. Port Ponky, I feel like you should aim higher than is broken. Though I suppose if your art style is just is broken, that kind of like a shattered world. There's ways you could go with that, actually. Whereas lighting is broken is kind of very limiting. You know what? Fuck lighting. Go with is broken for an art style. I think that's more compelling. I don't know what is going on in this game, Port Ponky. I also feel very small. Holy Mother of God! What are you doing, dude? What are you making, man? This is a, like, you saw Manifold Garden and you were like, yo, William, hold my beer. Oh man, I don't understand anything. You should have one just literally be a mirror that you just... And you're like, what? Just to fuck with people. So what are you working on here, dude? I don't care about your lighting, I care more about what the hell it is you're doing. Where's the game? Are you just playing with like a concept right now? Oh. This game is gonna make me throw up. I wanna play it and I know I can't. I hate you people. Why do you keep doing this to me? Oh God. It's a mirror falling through the surface of a tesseract. God damn, that's a compelling pitch. The lighting doesn't work due to a huge number of 4D space folds and infinite mirrors. Yes, well that would do things with lights now, wouldn't it? Perhaps this game should occur in a vacuum. I would have to know more about it to critique the art and lighting ideas here. I do feel like some AO is a good idea, but you could bake the AO into your textures and you wouldn't need lighting. Though perhaps that's what you're talking about. I feel though, if your game is that, if your game does end up looking similar to that, you could literally just, like, the AO for each room is pretty simple. You don't need to bake the lighting, you could just fucking paint it. Because you've got a lot of repetition with regards to the shapes there for each room. I mean, I don't know enough about what you're doing though. Yeah, I feel like you're trying to solve like a physics problem. Think about what you want the. I don't know if you're actually kidding or not. If you're kidding, this is hilarious. If you're not kidding, you don't need to solve lighting for that, right? Like, if the end result you want is that the levels look pretty and lit, it just. All you need is the corners of the room to be dark. Like, I don't feel like you need lighting for that. I feel like you could just literally make a, like, probably one 1024 by 1024 texture that has the kind of AO you want, and just add that as an additive layer over, or as a texture. What do I call it? Like, add it on top of each of your objects in your shader. It seems like it would be really simple to solve. Yeah, I wouldn't do this with proper lighting. There's no need for that. I mean, do you have an idea that the player is going to have hands or something? Or a shadow? Or... I mean, if you needed a shadow in the world, I could understand that you might need that in order to make, like... If you've got physics puzzles like this where you're moving around, you might need something that grounds you so you understand when you jump, which direction you jump in. Like, I could understand an argument for having a shadow. But if you don't have that, fuck lighting. Like, that just seems like an unnecessary nightmare. Yeah. The player will have a body. Okay. You're going full body too? Like legs? First person legs? Do you know what you're getting into here, buddy? That doesn't have to be good. Sorry. I immediately go to AAA thoughts. Like, first person legs done right is very difficult. Yeah. People really underestimate how difficult that is, actually. But I mean, you can just do some dumb shit. It'll be fine. Not first person. Oh, it's a third person game. Okay, that'll be easier. Have you tried seeing this game where instead of having a person, you have like a player cube or something, so you know what it feels like when you're seeing yourself in the mirror and stuff? I assume you have. I'm just being stupid. Because I feel like getting that to feel right is almost more important. You can slap a character in there whenever. Dude, the fuck are you making, man? You got mad about the cubes? Yeah, that's understandable. I too get irrationally upset when looking at geometry. Wait, so are you floating or jumping right now? Is this just a camera, like, through the world to demonstrate what the world is? Or is this the player moving? Because it's moving erratically enough that I feel like you're the player. Oh god, I'm gonna get sick already. When is this shipping, Port Ponky? No idea. I'm gonna stop streaming. Port Ponky, start streaming, man. I have questions. The shit are you doing, bro? So you're not flying, you're just repeatedly jumping, and I'm guessing you have a very floaty jump because you turned off floor detection. Right, you're in the Czech Republic. I don't know why that would prohibit you from streaming, but I suspect I'm supposed to know. So I just said, right. I see. Cool, man. Hey, Furious Fire. Oh, shit. Hey, Dire Goldfish, why don't you guys put Easter eggs of each other's games in your own games? What makes you think we haven't, Nordle? Shh. I feel like I get you, Port Punk. I have a plan. I don't have a plan. It'll be fine. It might not be fine. Oh, so what I'm working on now, I needed a way for you to get through the world. Let me just unlock. I was working on the main menu and stuff, and I need a way for this to all make sense. And one of the things I was doing was, is this even the right one? Yeah. So I had this idea that, oh shit, I don't remember how to beat this level. I think it's like, yeah, I do remember. Alright, look at the orange ribbon. You beat the level, the bass string tightens. You're basically tuning a bass as you play through. And that's also what springs you up, and that's also going to be the thing that, I don't remember this one. Like when you die, a bass string will kind of, oh shit, plunk up. There's a lot of different reasons why I'm doing this stuff with the ribbon. But yeah, as you go through the world, the ribbon goes from, you tune the bass, everything kind of, all the slack ribbons kind of tighten up. I still need a lot of work on this. I'm just trying to get it to a place where it's like, not broken. That's my goal right now, be not broken. It's a lofty goal. And there's a million reasons why I'm doing it. You need like an idea of your progression through the world. You need an idea of, I needed a narrative element for what happens when you fall off the world. I like the idea that, let's run the game. When you get to the stages and you're doing the harder stuff, I was trying to figure out what that would look like and stuff, and I really like the idea that the bass string pulls and it kind of opens up things like this for the harder stuff. I don't have that set up here, but like you can imagine the bass string pulls this open and then wraps around it and pulls it back down. So that's kind of what I'm going for. We have the same goal? What's the same goal? Make cool games? I agree. We do. Not broken. Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought that was your art style. Is broken. I was on board with it. So many different ways you could go with that if you think about it. I feel like that should be the focus of a jam or some shit. No, that's a mess. What were you thinking? That does not work at all. Crap. Also, I think I have the progression wrong. It goes So this is an optional level. This is not an optional level. Yeah, go back to where you were before. You goofed. Hey Aubrey, what's up, man? And Sokal and May. Good morning, everybody. People are waking up. Oh, it's 11. Jesus. Oh, God, why is this taking so long? Hey, Port Monkey, are you still there, man? What's it like in the Czech Republic? Like, are there other game developers there? Is this why you're on Twitch a lot? Like, hanging out with us and stuff? Or, I don't know. I'm just curious. I've only ever lived in America, so... It's actually kind of cool. I didn't realize you were from there. Do you find you have to, like, fly around to conferences all the time to meet other people, or you're just kind of cool doing your own thing? How did you become a developer in Czech Republic? I have so many questions. Oh, I'm in... You're from Scotland. I thought so. Oh, you're just, like, in the Czech Republic temporarily, then? Brno. You don't have to answer me. I just have a lot of questions. Got it. Cool. That makes more sense to me. It's actually there's some development going on in Scotland, or at least Ireland, I think. I think John Romero's out there somewhere. I know they're not the same thing. They just both have end in land, and I'm stupid, so I said that. But yeah, whatever. I'm gonna shut up now for the greater good. You're interested in the assumption that the Czech Republic doesn't have a dev scene? Well, I feel like, Rory, I feel like Boston barely has a dev scene, but I'm spoiled because I started out in San Francisco. So I'm used to, like, when I have a problem, like, I'd go to a bar and I would just talk to somebody who's either working with the tech or literally making the tech that I'm using. And I just became really accustomed to that, and I found Boston difficult because I couldn't have that. And I can't imagine, like, in my mind, like, distance from a major tech hub like Seattle or San Francisco or maybe Austin is, I don't know, it just makes it harder. Also, there just is less game development around the world. There just is. Like, they both end in land. Shut up, Furious Fire. I said I was an idiot. We all understand that. Things are really cheap. Yeah. Oh, dude, I've always wanted to go to Prague. Based on, like, nothing. Got it. Everyone I know that's gone to Prague has said that it was great, that it was a great time. And that it was cheap. You think it was that my question assumed there wasn't a scene? Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like a thriving indie scene does well when there's a thriving AAA scene around. And now that I think about it, there is quite a bit being done in Czech. Now that I think about it, yeah. There's a lot of, at least there's a lot of art outsourcing houses out there. You're right, that was a stupid assumption, Rory. I should have assumed they had a pretty strong scene. Hey, Ninja. I don't know if you guys have got the hint yet, but I'm not really quite as worldly as one would hope. Here's the trick, though. If Czech does develop a thriving scene and they can afford to fly me out there to speak for some reason, I need to give them a reason to do that. Then I will be able to visit Czech, and that would be sweet. Or if I make enough money to actually recreationally go travel, that would be sweet. I think that'd be fun. But yeah, no, I don't know shit about Czech, man. I asked on Twitter about the different conferences around in Eastern Europe and stuff, because I thought that would be it'd be fun to go do that circuit at some point. Yeah, I mean, I managed to travel. I've gone to Europe a couple times, but again, it was always for work, right? Like, I made a whole trip out of Gamescom, so I got to see Germany and a bunch of stuff there, and I hit up Lisbon. I did, when I was much younger, go to do like the standard London, France trip that every American does. That was like stupid high school stuff. I went to Glastonbury once in the UK. That was fucking wild. I loved that. Yeah. Rory's gonna shoot me down. Like, oh, I heard you hired. You wanted Gwen to speak at your conference. Have you seen this clip on Twitch? She doesn't know shit about your country. That's why I want to go. Forrest just got invited 2 weeks ago to go down to Mexico to speak, and he immediately jumped on it and went down there, and there was he was telling me about all I mean, there's two reasons to do it, right? Like, you go there, you speak, it's good for the studio and it builds the brand and stuff, and I mean, vacation on someone else's dime, who the hell would turn that down, right? But then you also get a feel for what that place is like and what kind of scene is going on there. So it's kind of good for the country too, in a way. That's my argument. Not that me knowing what your country is like is useful in any way. I am not important. But I feel like other people probably. That would be a good idea. And I feel like I could maybe make the case. I need to become a big deal so I can go to these places. It sounds like fun. Yeah. I started following Alan Hazelden on Twitter. He does seem like he's everywhere. This is my new thing. I don't make friends anymore. I just follow people on Twitter. I'm no longer a human being. I'm just a creep on the internet. I guess we all do it, so who gives a shit? Alright, does this look acceptable? God, no. Not really. Like, these two things are crashing. I don't know how to fix that. This icon needs to just move over here. Which should be easy, actually. I've even moved over to the new markup system yet. ever get invited to speak at a conference in which they didn't want to cover the flight cost hotel? Oh yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. More common would be schools do it a lot. Like, hey, come speak at our school for free. And it's like, where are you? Several states away? I don't even own a car. Like, no, I'm sorry. I get that a lot. But they're usually really nice about it and they don't usually expect anything. I'm not important enough to just randomly get invited to conferences, really. People will ask us to submit the Flame in the Flood to their awards. They'll be like, hey, submit for this award. It only costs $500 and you can be, like, maybe you'll win. It's one thing if it's the IGF, it's another thing if it's, like, bumfuck award no one's heard of in, like, I don't know, Arkansas. It's like, no. We get tons of those. But invitations to speak I don't get a lot of. At least, like, not at conferences. Usually I apply for those. If I want to go to them, right? Like, I'm not kidding, I kind of hustled Aslak. I was like, hey. Hey, need speakers? But again, you have to keep in mind, I think people who work in, like, game design or business get invited to speak at conferences a lot more. It just matters more, right? All my talks have always been about animation, which I love, and I think that's, like, great and way more fun, and my talks are amazing. But there's not as much of a market or interest in that. Specifically game animation. There are people that want you to talk about techniques for film animation around the world. Obviously, like SIGGRAPH exists. But game animation is just such a niche thing. There's not a lot of speaking opportunities for it. I just kind of wiggle into where I can. I should really try to do a good job at console, because if I can do a talk that's not animation focused, that would actually open doors. That might be fun. I don't know, we'll see. I gotta come up with something good though. I didn't submit shit at RT. Like, I didn't submit to any festivals. I had decided by the time I hit senior year that it was games or bust and I didn't give a fuck about film. I think I decided that in junior year. And that wasn't what the program was about, so I just stopped caring about the program. But I got a job. And let's be real, winning film festivals doesn't feed you. But my job kept me fed. So, the administration can suck it. Alright, I think this should come off of there. And then I'll stop noodling. Okay, am I thinking about this right? Yeah, that should definitely go that way. Okay. Terrible life advice. Hell yeah, man. Okay, we're gonna call that the first pass for that. Because we need to get going. Man, it is hard to parse this shit. Texture work will fix it. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. Alright. Phase 2. Now we make the relaxed version. Starting with this. Where's the blueprint I wrote for you? That's not what I need. What am I thinking? You are... one spline. Where's my scratch pad? Get trombone 01 spline. Copy all points between the two spline components. Do stuff. It did stuff. See? Now there's a second spline. Oh shit, I undid doing stuff. Do stuff. Alright. To see the second spline. Start loose. Alright. And let's start adding our code matrix. I can show you real quick if you want. So I'm working on this main menu. I'm working on the idea of there being these bass strings that go throughout the world. They're colored. This is all really temp. Don't judge me. I know the art doesn't look temp, but it is super temp. As you go through the world and you beat levels, the bass strings kind of tighten up. So like, say you're here, right? I just know how to solve this, so this will be super fast. See how that bass string kind of tightened up, and I'm an idiot. Sorry, I'm tired. And now, like, because I'm going from here to this level, this will all kind of tighten up, so that's already pretty kind of tight. And basically the world goes from being kind of like having really slack ribbons to having really tight ribbons. And I'll iterate on it a bit more over time, but that's kind of the idea. So as you go through and you're playing the game, you're tightening up, you're tuning a bass. Like some kind of track. Yeah, I don't know what the visuals will be yet. I'm just getting it in, and then I'm going to start playing with color and different things. At one point it was like, when I first did it, what did it look like? This is when it started looking like ribbons. At one point it was notes on a note bar. That was way too busy. That was terrible. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it'll be. I do know I want to go with the motif of tuning a bass string. So we've gotten that far. But I need something that looks okay when it draws through the world. It's a little too faint right now. I don't like the level completed element at all. I'm kind of like, I like the idea of a tuner for the levels you haven't completed that are available. I don't know. There's just a lot to think about here. But yeah, that's what I'm working on now. seems crazy keeping track of everything. Like, keeping all the levels and where they terminate in your head. You'd be surprised. You actually memorize that pretty quickly. I don't have that many. I mean, there's like 80 or 90 puzzles total, and this screen only has like, I don't know, maybe like 50 or 60 of them. Is that right? 50, 30, 45, 50, just, yeah. Somewhere between 50 and 60. Closer to 50. Just deleted my save so I could see a new game. Movement. Thanks, May. Was this a story? I can't tell you the story, Port Funky. You have to find it yourself, man. It's the hero's journey. Hey, bottishly crazy. Oh my god, what is going on here? Why is the game not called Gwen's Drum Roll? Somebody at the YouTube channel said, oh, it looks like you're cloning Steven's Sausage Roll. I was like, ouch. On one hand, I really like that game. On the other hand, what a douchey thing to say. Fucking douches. I'm not mad, I don't give a shit. What are we doing here, though? I think what we're doing here is moving you over here. Over here. Getting rid of this. I mean, it would be kind of cool to be compared to that. I don't know if I want that, though. Well, I don't want to be considered a clone. I don't think the mechanics are... I mean, they're both grid-based puzzle games, that's true. They both have undo. That game was sweet. I shouldn't be mad, actually. It's probably praise in a weird, fucked up way. Well, just in like a poorly worded kind of way. The other thing he said, this is the first clone of Steven's Sausage Roll. And I was like, I doubt that. I bet there have been other clones. That was a pretty good game. Like, if there weren't clones of that game, I'd be a little bit bummed. Or at least somebody that, like, did more grid-based puzzle games. I thought there was one with, like, somebody cooking food by a campfire that looked similar-ish. Maybe. I should probably play these games, right? You should do the thing where you play the games that are similar to your game. Your game got called a Minecraft clone? Is it bad if someone makes something else that's similar to something that's really good? I think that's what most of game development is, actually. Just taking, like, we all, even if it's not conscious, we're all biased by the stuff that we're into, the games we play and stuff, right? So, some amount, and the other thing is certain elements in games end up very similar because you realize there's a problem and there's a way to solve it. Like, sometimes people just come to the same conclusions about how to solve a problem. That's not a bad thing, that's just like, sometimes there is a more right way to do things. Right? And there's definitely games, in film you see this all the time too, like, after The Matrix came out, all of a sudden everything had bullet time. Like, there's definitely themes that, when people talk about clones, I think they're talking about something they're tired of, a theme or a thing that's been copied over and over. Well, when they talk about it in a negative kind of a way. Oh. I don't know, Board Punky. Dozens of Neo Sokoban games. You know, I didn't even know about that stuff, Port Pocky, until I started following Alan Hazelden, and I fell down the rabbit hole of like looking at stuff on. I didn't actually play them. I haven't played games in forever, but the stuff on Puzzle Script Gallery. It's cool. Pipe Push Paradise. I haven't played that one. Dude, how have I never heard of any of this shit? I don't play enough indie games. I only play things on Steam. Which I thought was indie games. The indie section of Steam. My itch.io game is weak, man. Gotta get up on that shit. They are on Steam? Dude. Oh, Lunoland, you're from Twitter. Thank you for recommending that talk this morning, though. Or was it last night? Losing track of days. That was a good talk. The one, who was it? Oh, man. It might be lunchtime. I'm losing my mind. The, what was it? The one made by, Gamma Sutra was interviewing Zach from Zachtronics. That was cool. Yeah, I don't know his last name either. He also had, Zach Gaje Barth. Jonathan Blow hasn't made a sokoban game. I don't know, I saw his stream. It looks like he's making 8 sokoban games. Dude is busy. Zach Barth. Yeah, that guy was like, I don't know. Very energetic. I really like that talk. It was a good one. Are they Neo Sokoban or Classic Sokoban? I don't know what that means. I'm never sure if you're joking or if I'm just stupid, Ponky. Is there such a thing as a Neo Sokoban? No, I don't think that's a... Just the most gullible person alive. But it's not a genre. Should be. Let's make it. Poor Ponky. Neo Sokoban is like Sokoban but with more shape, form, or directionality. Are you like... Is this something... SSR? What is SSR? Oh, Steven Sausage Roll. I should have known that. Got it. Never seen it used as an acronym. Kine is Neo Sokoban? I don't think you're not pushing something to a goal location though. I thought about having a sokoban minigame very early on. Like where you're using your limbs to like push a... I was trying different things, like... I thought it was less fun to push something, it was more fun to like spear something and have it attached to you and then roll around and like hit shit with it. So yeah, I guess I've never really been that interested in sokoban. You don't have to push either, that's also Neo. What? Though that is, now I think about it, very Steven Sausage Roll. Glad I ended up not doing that. Spearing something. Because then I would really look like a clone. You are the sokoban. No, well the fun of a sokoban game is that like you get in a situation where you've like you got the puck and every now and then you put the puck somewhere you can't get it and you're like fuck. And that's like the fun. Though I guess with Steven's Sausage Roll, you also had to get to a location, which did make it. I don't know. Is this? I'll take it. Whatever. I'm part of the Neo Sokoban movement. Screw it. Port Pocky made it official. That's scary though, because those games are good, and I need to get this tested. Like, nobody's played this shit, man. It's probably not good. I clearly care way more about the other stuff. Like, I come from studios where you focus more on world building than, like, okay, I've never made a puzzle game. I don't want to be compared to those games. Those games are good. It's not like there's a biological classification of games. No, you gotta you have to have terms for these things, though. You know? So you can describe them to the market, so the market knows what to expect. Like, if the word roguelike didn't exist, it would be very difficult to explain the Flame and the Flood. It would just, you would need to set up all this. It's a game where every time you die, you start over again from the beginning, you know? Like, so it's good to have these kinds of words. Yeah, I literally did not think of this game as a sokoban game at all, but that's interesting. I still don't think it is. If the robots could push each other, which is something that may or may not happen in the sequel, that would be fun. It's a single-player MMORPG. These are clowns. Oh, I'm more excited about making the sequel than making this game now. I can't get tired with this. I need to finish this fucking game. I need to finish this game. I need to... If I'm serious about kicking it out in the winter, we have to get some traction here. And I need to get people playing it. And I'm not going to get people playing it. Maybe, hopefully before next weekend. I'll have an updated build on Steam and then I'll send it out to some people. Because we haven't even gotten to that place where you think you're close to done, which means you're actually nowhere near done yet, and I'm not even there. Which means I'm pretty bad shape, actually. Usually. Though maybe puzzle games are easier. Like, with narrative games, there's so much fix-up and polish. With puzzle games, I mean, how hard could it be? Maybe it's fine. Shut up, guys. I don't have any kind of marketing strategy, and that's probably a problem. I know I've been slacking. Like, if my marketing strategy is maybe Twitch, and I'm this fucking lazy about Twitch, I don't have a good marketing strategy. That's gonna be where this all falls down. It looks like that's come together. Let's do the side ones too while we're here. Like, I didn't even send out a press release when I did that announced trailer. Like, I'm doing some real dumb Bush League shit here, guys. Should have done that. Was a missed opportunity. It's just so goddamn busy. My marketing strategy was to email a couple dudes with a dozen subs on YouTube and then not respond when they emailed back. Your game has got, like, slow word of mouth, though, and you did super well at GDC and stuff. Like, you were on the whatever... I imagine you must have won a bunch of awards, right? I mean, the other half is it comes down to what your goals are. I think the reason why I didn't take the press release stuff very seriously is because, like, this is not the game that's meant to make me money, so I just don't care as much. But that's still being lazy and missing an opportunity. It's still kind of bullshit. Where the fuck are your handles? Oh, I see them. No awards or sales. Ouch, man. But you were, like, in the experimental gameplay workshop and stuff. I guess that shit ain't worth shit, huh? Were you hoping for sales and awards? Was that, like, your goal? What was your goal? Is there just a box chilling? Just a chilling little box in here? Is that your deal? Come back to me. Where are you? Show me you. Interesting. Yeah, that doesn't need to exist. If I had sales, I'd be able to quit my full-time job and make more better games quicker. But getting sales requires either making things that the market wants, and or also spending a significant amount of time figuring out how to get sales, which is time that you're not either working, making money, or working on your game, right? So I feel ya, it's not like the easiest thing in the world. You could try option C. Use the fact that you made a critically acclaimed, amazing game to go work at a game company. Though I don't know your situation, I don't know how many they have in Scotland. And then climb the ranks at a game company. I don't know, a lot of indies are super against that, but I feel like if your options are being miserable at work all day, and then going home and pursuing your passion, you'd be surprised. You can have a lot of fun working at a company. It might not be your game, at least not initially, but eventually, like, it's a different path to becoming a creative director. And I mean, you won't make small games. Maybe you'll make small games, maybe not. Depends on the company. I guess I'm just surprised a lot of people don't think about that path as much as they could. What am I doing here? Unless you're already working for a game company, in which case I'll shut up. There's a few like Rockstar North. I don't want a games company because it's pretty grindy. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. You have priorities. My eye. Imagine. Whatever helps you sleep at night, body. Fuck. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. I think this is a good stream. I think I started with a goal. I did that goal. It took about the right amount of time. I think this is gonna be it for the stream. Morning stream done. How much longer are you going for today? Oh, I just answered that question. Done. Sonny B. I might be back later. I usually do an afternoon stream, but I'm real lazy. But I should. I'm not sure what I need to do yet, so I'm probably gonna eat and then think and then do a bit of work. And if it looks like there's some stuff that's just like thinking, which I might not be able to stream. But if I have a concrete task, I'll come back and I'll stream tonight. I plan to. I'll come up with something. I usually do. But I am done. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you're getting a lot of shit done. Of course. It's good to see you again, May. Keep kicking ass. Thanks for sharing your game, Port Bonky. Thanks for hanging out, man. Even while on vacation. 10 out of 10. Excellent. Productivity stream, guys. Alright, I'm gonna let you guys go crush it. I'll be back probably in a couple hours. Bye. Good. Good, May.